The 2021 Super Bowl has got off to a cracking start, with Disney dropping the first full-length trailer for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, heading to Disney Plus in only a few weeks. There's a bit to pick apart in this one, so let's do it. Before we get into it, don't forget to hit that like button down below. It does wonders in getting my content out there, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to keep up to date with all my videos. Of course, with WandaVision currently making waves on our television screens, it's easy to forget that another highly anticipated piece of Marvel content is imminently on the way. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was in fact originally intended as the first MCU series to drop on Disney+, but the pandemic forced Marvel and Disney to mix up the slate a little bit. The series will take place in what appears to be the almost immediate aftermath of Avengers Endgame, in which, spoiler alert for a 2-year-old movie that everyone on the planet has seen multiple times at this point, an aged Captain America handed his shield to his buddy Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon. Of course, Roger's best bud of, like, forever, Bucky Barnes, who probably thought he was next in line for the shield, likely felt a little bit slighted by this. And understandably, our trailer for this series really focuses on the animosity between the two characters, one which has been there since the two first came face to face way back in Captain America the Winter Soldier and continued on into Captain America Civil War. The series will likely focus heavily on this animosity, playing the two characters off of one another. And while Sam is clearly embracing his role as Captain America, it seems he's also suffering deeply from imposter syndrome, wondering if he truly is worthy of the shield. However, there is another vying for the shield here as well, and that is John Walker, the US agent. In the comics, this is a guy who takes up the mantle of Captain America after Rogers retires, though he soon becomes too unstable to be worthy of the role and finds himself in a confrontation with Rogers, which ends with him relinquishing the title back and taking on the mantle of US agent. In the MCU, popular theory is that after the supposed death of Rogers, the US government creates a new Captain America figure by the name of US agent and either strips Sam of his shield, possibly believing it doesn't belong to him, or creates a new one just for Walker. This is going to add another layer of pressure to Wilson, who is possibly being strong-armed into hanging up the shield by a government who have continually had no faith in the Avengers team, even though they, saved the world and all that. We've seen in WandaVision that regardless of all of this, the government and their various agencies still aren't fans of the Avengers and are keeping close tabs on them. Maybe this will lead towards a Falcon Winter Soldier confrontation with Sword, leading to a first possible MCU Disney Plus crossover. Of course, government distrust in the Avengers has deep roots in both Captain America the Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War, which this series, stylistically, visually and narratively, really seems to resemble. In fact, this series is essentially a sequel series to those Cap-centric films, continuing the Bucky Wilson story arcs that were built up in those movies and even tying up threads that have been long left open. Of course, the series will see the return of Daniel Bruhl to the role of Helmut Zemo, who looks to finally be going all out Baron Zemo in this series. Zemo is a longtime supervillain and arch nemesis of Captain America in the comics, at times leading both the Masters of Evil and the Thunderbolts. While we didn't see him sporting the iconic purple mask from the comics in Civil War, we'll absolutely be seeing him donning it here. Zemo was, as we know, the leading villain in Civil War, the one pulling the strings of the Avengers' fallout. Last time we saw Zemo in the MCU, he'd been arrested for his crimes and was being held in a high-security containment cell at the Joint Counter-Terrorism Center. Well, it looks like Zemo has broken his way out and is back with a vengeance, saying here that he has no intention to leave his work unfinished. Obviously that means he's going back after Bucky Barnes and Falcon. This is building up to be an incredibly heavy series with a lot of boiling tension, and perhaps Zemo is building up his own low-grade MCU Masters of Evil, or at least some kind of terrorist strike force, who seem to be wreaking havoc on a global level. And it seems like one of these team members is the mystery character being played by Erin Calliman, who played Enfys Nest in Solo: A Star Wars Story. Another loose thread being picked up here is the character of Sharon Carter, aka Agent 13. Of course, Sharon's roots go back to the last 2 Cap films, but she hasn't been seen since, leaving her as one of those characters that felt like they were being built up for great things before being discarded come the Avengers films. Who remembers the Civil War promo art that saw Sharon teaming up for battle with Team Cap, only to find that any action sequences with her had been dumped from the film, relegating her to expositionary character and weird pseudo love interest. There was even a Funko action figure and everything. Well, it looks like she is finally picking up the batons and getting to take part in some sick-ass action scenes like she's always deserved. Action-wise, this series looks absolutely loaded. I know there's been a lot of people with reservations over WandaVision's so far very light action elements, so it should be an absolute thrill to see big-scale Marvel action finally headed to Disney+. Seriously, from classic hand-to-hand combat, gunfights, big explosions, and airborne dogfights, the scale of action here seems absolutely first class on a cinematic level. That said, more so than WandaVision, this series really looks and feels like a Marvel movie in a more traditional sense, and I feel many people, myself included, have felt maybe not so much hyped for this one, given that it feels like Marvel's safest upcoming property, but man, has this trailer got me all kinds of hyped up. As someone whose favourite Marvel film is Winter Soldier, hands down, it's going to be incredibly exciting to jump into a series that feels like it's come straight from that world. All the action, drama, intrigue, and slowly burning thrills. Of course, it wouldn't be Marvel without a little light comedy as well. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what other ties to the MCU this series holds for us. Cameo appearances that seem like an absolute shoo-in for this series are Nick Fury, Maria Hill, and possibly Cap in a flashback sequence or two. I'd also love to see Martin Freeman return as Everett Ross. It only makes sense considering Zemo has escaped from his clutches. He is going to be out for blood. I'd also be very interested to see how they approach the death of Black Widow in this film as well. Along with this trailer, we've also got a brand new poster, pretty much showing off everything that we've talked about here. We've got the US agent at the center, Sam and Bucky with their backs turned on each other, really working up their animosity, an awesome shot of Zemo masked up, swarmed by his terrorist team, and also a dramatic shot of Sharon. Yes, this poster feels very Marvel, but I'm loving it. Falcon and the Winter Soldier lands on Disney Plus 2 weeks after WandaVision ends on March 19, 2021. I will of course be covering the series episode by episode with reviews and breakdowns and explained videos and all of that, so if you'd like to keep up with that every week, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon down below. And at that, I am obviously super excited, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on this trailer too. Are you pumped for Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Fire away down in the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Hey everyone, if you haven't yet, smash that big old subscribe button up on your screen to keep up to date with all my content and hit that like button down below. Also, don't forget to check me out on social media and please consider supporting me over on Patreon for as little as $1 a month for exclusive videos, early access content, and to get your name up on the screen. Thanks again for watching.